Hello, lovely couples. I am super, super excited to start this first ever guest episode on the YouTube channel today. So today I have with me the wonderful Nat Raybould. She is a humanist celebrant based in London, and guys, she is just incredible. I invited her here today to chat about celebrant-led ceremonies, what is a humanist ceremony, and just basically how can we make your wedding ceremony more personal, because this is the first year what I've really seen the celebrant-led ceremony just coming in force. Like, loads of my couples have been doing it, and I am totally here for it. Like, I cannot tell you how here for it I am, guys. I'm all about the details and the personality and the love. I'm so here for the love, and I feel like these guys just really bring that. It's not just about the legal process, it's about telling your love story. So without giving too much away, I'm gonna have a wonderful conversation with Nat. But first of all, Nat, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody about who you are and what you do?
Hello, I love that. What an amazing introduction. All about the love. Well, that's introduced me really. I'm Nat Raybould. I am a humanist wedding celebrant, which means that I'm a wedding celebrant and also I'm a humanist, but a bit more on that later. I write bespoke wedding ceremonies. They are completely unique, based on centering, focusing the love story, the gorgeousness, the passions, the stories of the couple getting married. And yeah, all about the love. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. I really do love it. Like, honestly, when you go to a wedding and you just feel that, I've got shivers down my back. You just feel that love, like,
Yeah.
radiating from the couple, like the emotions. Like, it's just such a different experience, isn't it? Like, for all the guests, like even for me as a planner and a coordinator standing there, and you so much more emotional, and I'm so here for it.
This is the response you get when you have a bespoke wedding ceremony. You know, it's not the time where you're thinking, oh, I could just really do with a glass of champagne right now. Oh, can this just be over? I'm so bored. Oh, I've heard this a million times before. You know, your guests are glued to it. They have never heard anything quite like it before because they've not seen you get married before. And it's just the most exciting atmosphere. It's a biteable atmosphere in the space, whether it's indoors or outdoors, wherever, you know, because it can be wherever you want. And it's so exciting. It's exciting for me. I've done so many and I'm still just so bowled over by the amount of emotion and the amount of meaning that you get into every single wedding every time. Best job ever.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, I so love that. So I guess what we really need to do for my audience is to explain what a celebrant-led ceremony is,
Yeah.
and perhaps the different types, because I do know that there are different types. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So essentially you could say it's the third way to get married. The most famous two ways to get married are a civil ceremony, which is the legal way of getting married, which is important, don't get me wrong, but it tends to be focused on the legal language. And then the other way to do it, if you have religious faith of any kind, and I know some people even possibly choose to have a religious wedding and possibly only one or even neither of the couple actually actively believe in the faith, but they do it perhaps because it's their family church, or maybe their family has given them a little bit of expectation, or they just feel like it's more significant emotionally and almost romantically to have a more beautiful building, less formal legal language as the boundary.
And obviously, so we need to just clarify. So if you do
Mm.
have a celebrant-led wedding, it's not legally binding,
Not in England and Wales.
but it is in Scotland, isn't
In
it?
Scotland, humanist accredited celebrants have been legally able to marry people, you know, on a cliff top
Oh,
with I know, right? Proper elopement, gorgeous vibes on a hilltop with just, you know, the celebrant and the photographer. Legal marriages for, I think it's over 16 years now. So it's not like,
what?
you
I
know,
didn't know that either. Even.
and it's the most popular way to get married apart from the civil ceremonies. So it's more popular than any of the single faith ceremonies now.
Why are we 16 years behind?
Listen, write to the government. It's not my decision. If it was my decision, I would be legally recognised right now. It's very frustrating.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's a when, not if for humanist ceremonies, for sure.
Mm.
And what I would say, having said all of that and my frustration, which is totally true, it doesn't take away from the beauty of the ceremony.
No.
And I can say that having been a humanist ceremony bride myself, it's not just
and it
assumption.
also doesn't mean that you don't have to be legally married. So all my couples, and probably all of yours as well,
all of mine,
will
yes,
do the legal bit in a registry office with just a very small amount of people so that they are legally married, but their ceremony and the thing that they celebrate on their wedding day with, for example, you, Nat.
Yeah. I mean, the way that I did it, you can do it lots of ways, but the way that I did it, liking to talk about my own lovely wedding, because I wouldn't do it any different, again, it's quite nice, is that we went to the registry office at something like 10:30 in the morning. And we went in our paraphernalia. We did lots of things slightly differently. So we slept together the night before and got each other ready. We didn't do the whole meeting thing. And we walked there with just our parents. We've got one sibling each, our siblings and my best friend. And we went and did the statutory ceremony, which is no ring exchange. It's a minimum amount of witnesses. It's minimal. Oh, and the photographer was there. And then we walked through the city, lovely documentary shots, you know, very, very cool. We went and grabbed a sandwich in a deli store. It was really casual and calm. We were really happy. It's got, do you know the feeling? It's a bit like when you buy a new car, when you sign on the dotted line and you're like, I like that. That's great. Doesn't make you laugh and cry. Doesn't make you like, you know, doesn't make your heart beat faster, but it's a cool thing that you did. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's got that kind of feeling. And then we picked up this lunch and got some nice shots. Then I went and put my heels on. Then we got our flowers on. All the guests started arriving. And then we had what we term and what I would say is our real ceremony. Yeah. So we signed, got it done on the same day so that they've got the same anniversary. Okay. And it kind of felt like a bit of an amuse-bouche somehow.
I love
Do you know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it was like
amuse-bouche, yes.
Yeah, trying it out. Now that worked for us. Some people, some of my couples rather, do like a week before and then go and pick up the rings, or do it early in the morning and then take their grandparents out to bottomless brunch, you know, kind of make a ritual out of things that they can do on the anniversaries that day. There's so many cute ways to make the lemonade out of the lemons.
Oh, I love it.
So the way it works in England and Wales at the moment is that everybody is not legally recognised. So technically speaking, anybody who wants to can write a bespoke, beautiful ceremony and deliver it to your guests. So my personal point of view, I had kind of two instincts when I wanted to become a celebrant. Number one, I've got like at least 2 degrees for everything else that I've ever done in my life. I didn't feel that I couldn't be trained for it. I knew that I had the skill sets. I knew that I knew how to write very well. I knew that I was a humanist. I knew that I believed in it and I loved it and I lived the process. And I needed to do it. I don't know if that sounds so ridiculous, but I just was so compelled to do it. It was a real passion of mine that I couldn't ignore. It's like a kind of lovely in my head. But I knew that there was still things that I needed to learn. I needed to have other people challenge me on things like the difficulties of dealing with intense emotions at a wedding time, dealing with difficult family situations, being a good listener, being empathic, reading couples so that I know what they want before they know what they want. So it was really important for me to get top quality training, is what I'm saying. The training is also ongoing every 3 years. We have peer observation of our ceremonies to check that they are still absolutely top-notch quality, and we get assessed.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And not just like you've been trained, kick you out the nest. You know, I know I've gone on a lot about Humanist UK, but that's because that's my
what you're part of.
My thing that I really believe in. The other umbrella is independent celebrants, and that is everyone else. So it's a much larger group of celebrants, and it can include celebrants of faith, celebrants that perhaps don't have a particular faith but are very happy and comfortable saying prayers or leading an act of worship. So there is room for every couple to have a celebrant that really matches their spiritual needs, their religious needs, or their non-religious needs, depending on how they are. Yeah. And also there's room for couples to pick different personality types as well, because not everyone is quite as hand-led as me. I've just noticed how hand-led I am. This is quite something, although of course I'm holding a folder in ceremonies, so I'm not kind of doing give us a clue in weddings. But you know, there will always be a celebrant that you gel with. You meet them immediately, or you're looking on their social media or on their website and you're like, I would love to go for a drink with them. They look brilliant. They are my people.
The beauty of it for me is that you can choose who leads your ceremony. Yes, you can choose the type of ceremony, and we'll go into how it works in a minute, but I love the fact that you actually can choose somebody that you resonate with, you know, that you click with, that you think, yes, I want you stood at the front, leading our ceremony, sharing our story, because you're my person, you're my kind of person, instead of not knowing who's going to be stood up there with you.
That's exactly right. And the process that I personally do, I allot 6 months from when we start the process to your wedding day.
Well, talk to me about the process then. So how does it, like, just in general, how does it work with a couple wanting a celebrant-led ceremony? How do you put together, in a nutshell, because it's going to be different for everybody, but just to give our audience just a little bit of an idea of how it might work with putting together their ceremony, like what sort of things are included, how does it work?
Right, this is going to be so kind of caveated. I'm really sorry, but I can give you a general view of how I do it. All celebrants will do it differently, because all celebrants will have a different kind of mode of working. And so, of course, the first thing I will do is I'll meet couples before they book me. I think that's essential.
Yeah.
And I think probably it's essential for the vast majority of your wedding suppliers. You know, you have to have people that you know have your back, that are your people. And for a celebrant, I would say it's even the most important.
Yeah.
Because you want someone that you know will, you know, hold your hand when you're teary, saying your personal vows. So you want someone you really trust and you know is right there for you.
Yeah, totally.
So I meet them, and you know what, we cover quite a lot. There's an awful lot that I can glean right from a very first meeting. You know, I'm seeing the glances between the couple. I see the dynamic between both of them. Immediately, I would know the kind of vibe they want, whether they tell me or whether it's implied. Sometimes couples come to me and they don't know anything about a celebrant ceremony, apart from that they know it, they want it to be about them. And that's absolutely fine. I don't come with like a swag bag of things to do and then Velcro it on. Obviously, I have my memories of things I've done in the past, and I have my memories of how ceremonies can and do often work. But what I focus on is what the couple want, the atmosphere they want to create, how they want their guests to feel, as much as how they want to feel, actually, because it's convivial and it's this feeling of witness as much as declaration.
Mm-hmm.
So do they want their guests to be integral? Do they want, sing-alongs? Do they even want some sort of, I don't know, a dance party? There are so many ways. There are a myriad, infinite amount of ways that you can have your guests as part of your ceremony. And equally so, if I meet a couple that just want it to be absolutely pared down, elegance, minimalist, but just so honed, so beautifully, like almost poetic, in its language and in its delivery, that can be done too. So, the whole kind of visualization of the ceremony happens almost immediately. It's when I'm most kind of switched on to really picking up those instincts. So yes, so initial meeting, and then booked, and then we have our journey, and then that begins 6 months before the wedding day.
Okay.
So we will meet again in person.
Okay.
Hopefully, whether that be tea or cocktails or wine, whatever suits the couple. And every couple's different. Cake shop, I've got a cake shop date next year. Whatever suits the couples, how they work, where they are in the country, whether they're in this country, whatever happens, to have a chat, not necessarily about the wedding and the wedding planning, just to hang out, just to say, how was your day? How's your work going? Oh, your dog's looking so cute. Tell me all about your dog. I just want to know.
You can really get to know them, can't you?
Yeah.
You can understand them as a couple and how they live their lives, and therefore
this is it. Yeah. You have to kind of, what's the phrase? Read round your subject. I'm not just very narrowly concerned about the wedding. I want to know everything. I want to kind of leapfrog that knowledge that probably all of your guests will have about you. Anyway, so meeting, and that's not just once. The way I do it is that it really depends on the couple. Some couples want to meet up lots. Some couples, they maybe don't have time, or they want to do it another way. I'm led by my couples. And then I ask for some written homework. And that's because it uses a different part of the brain. I am asking the couples to spend a bit of time on their own, because they write separately, not together. And I ask them to just write their story to me, whatever they are comfortable writing for me. And I will provide guidance if necessary, but I try not to, because I want to hear their flow of thought. I want to hear their truly considered and intentional words about their relationship, about what they think of their partner, about how wonderful their life has been together before, during, and also their intentions for the future post-marriage. Because it's not the end of the film at the end of the wedding day. It's start of an intention, and it's the start. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I talk so much. I'm so sorry.
Fine. It's so interesting, and you're so passionate about what you do, and I love that.
Thank you.
I think this has been so informative for our viewers, like on this channel. I know that there have been people that have been asking about celebrant-led ceremonies, and I think you've just given so many little nuggets of wisdom and insight into how it works, what the difference is, why you might choose to do it, how you can go about doing it. Like, I think we've got so much information here, so thank you so much for giving us your perspective and insight into what you do, giving us your passion, because you really are so passionate about it, and that really does come through here in the video, here on your social media. I love your Instagram. Like, it cracks me up. Like, your personality just comes through, and it's amazing. So Nat, how can my subscribers connect with you? Tell me. I will link in the description box below, but where can we find you?
So I am at Nat Raybould Weds. That's my Instagram. And then my website is natraybouldweds.com.
Thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, throw some questions in the comments box if you want to reach out, and I will see you next week for another dose of wedding planning goodness. See you then, guys.